like to live a good life. I would like to live a good life. Would you like to live a good life? I would like to have a good life. Don't worry about the money and prestige you sell yourself for. I look forward to my bigger picture. In so many ways I'm growing richer and richer. But there's something getting in the way to what I'm feeling. You are getting something in the way to what we're feeling. Said there's something in the way, of what I'm feeling. You might feeling the way of what I'm feeling. You are getting the way that I'm feeling. You are getting in the way that I'm feeling. Free your mind, don't ask why. Now's the time. Call your friends, experience acoustic rhythm. Free your mind, don't ask why. Now's the time. Call your friends, experience acoustic rhythm. Dry your eyes. Tonight is gonna be something special, fresh, unique. Don't wanna waste. The music's calling me. Feel its power, surging soulful deep. Only way that we can start getting in the mood. Yeah. Sit back, relax, let go, go by the groove.
It is said, every oppressed people will receive a message to guide them into that light. So be wary and watchful of this one.
We bring forth the creation of a new Messiah, set from higher realms, and so it shall be written.
They tried to fool the black population by telling them that Georgia dead. And they tried to fool the black population by telling them that Georgia dead. Georgia dead. Jah no dead. Jah no dead, 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 no. No, Jah no dead. I know Jah. Jah no dead. Jah no dead. Rebel soul was born with a blessing to receive lessons from prophets of old. Born dedicated, brave and bold, with a mind shaped by the mold from which greatness was to unfold. Heaven knows if this coming was foretold like the 1,000th moon. Still I learnt that familiar tune they sung, natural like oxygen to lungs, or word off the drum to African minds, melanated beings in the sunshine, or rhythm to African female behind. See the future and the present to the past bind, so in order for me to be complete like 9, I had to rewind to our Khemoh nations, the first kings, queens, empires, and civilizations. The same people who were subjugated to subhumans on plantations, but who never accepted that condition of enslavement and fought for 2,000 seasons in the name of freedom, passed on that spirit to future generation hearts and minds, giving birth to Black Star lines and Black Power times. That history is mine. And now I'm born in a time where self-hatred is the order of the day. Willie Lynch, divide and conquer, most definitely had his way. And that 9 no longer represents completion, but could signify the end of the time you spend on this earthly plane. Whips on backs now, crack in veins. Estate blocks, plantations, same. But this road could never be the way for me. For prophets of old told of a very different story. For I was formed in the mold from which greatness was to unfold, leaving me to battle with the conflict of being in this world, but not of this world, but always following the rebel souls who existed in this world. For this world is contrary and contradictory to my nature, which leads me to that very important decision, which became apparent after I learned that most important lesson, and that blessing became a mission that would give birth and be expressed through these writtens that speak of knowledge of self-determination, liberation, love, and unity, divinely inspired and projected through a voice that was designed specifically to impact eardrums, mentals, third eye optics, souls, and spirits. Rhythmic flow, I don't spit it, this is more fire lyrics, trotting through the earth like a lion unleashed in the belly of the beast, chanting,
No justice, no peace.
this road is very steep, but I trod. Yes, I roll with footsteps always guided by those prophets of old. So call me the whirlwind in the storm of Marcus Messiah Garvey, the means necessary of Malcolm X, not the dream, but the vision of Martin Luther King, because I want to let freedom reign from the hilltops and the valleys, from the street corners to the alleys. For freedom is a state of being that complements and enhances your nature. So it's time for we to return the way, reclaim our throne, and stop chasing gods that are not our own. And that's why every time I bless this stage, I say Tendai Mari. Be thankful unto the Most High Jah Rastafari for blessing me with this gift called the word and the power to direct this fire from my heart to your heart with precision. I'm ShakaRa, and this is Rebel Soul's mission.
Feeling the pressure increase, daily fighting with the police. Heads bossed by the police. No justice, no peace. When we divide MCs, more fire to release. Fighting for the deceased. No justice, no peace. See, like Bush and Blair, I can just make this up as I go along. Rearrange those facts to make them fit, and when they don't, I can just make up any shh. Because in the Y2K, anything goes. Like dirty and crimson clothes. Bros sleeping with bros and even those whack-ass mobo shows. See, planes falling from the skies, only the skies, the lies and flies fly around us. Victims become the accused, and the accused become criminalized, baptized in Satan's polluted pool of propaganda and politics, or politics. See, now wit creeps into surface, and we laugh, merry laugh, but yo! The joke is on us. How much longer are we going to sit and discuss? How much longer are we going to invest and trust in this raping, racist regime? See, I have a dream. But that dream needs to manifest into reality. Because that revolution won't be on no MTV or no TV channel that he runs. No! He'd rather flood us with guns, drugs, and death. And for my disillusioned blacks, it will come from the militant right and the so-called far left. So I strategize and mobilize. Network and make those ties with allies on the rise. Speaking truth from deep within in Zinga, Shaka, Hannibal, truth cannibal on the run, spitting laser-like lyrics like clipped from this gun, and yeah, it's fun. Because I see the truth penetrating in souls as they flee and run, jumping over misplaced love and trust, just to seek refuge in the idea of the American dream, or that bullsh like, God save our gracious queen. See, I'm a redeemed figurehead with cultural lessons facilitated by and Ra, and realize spoken word with words means words like Matt Black, OneNess, TuggS.T.A.R and ShakaRa for our future will be determined by our past until we address the past. So as the cycle turns, we must learn that the early bird catches the worm.
Who eats worms, lad?
We don't eat worms.
You don't eat worms, man.
Yeah, we don't eat worms. So a bird in the hand is worth more than two in the bush. But we continue to evolve. And we're now vegans and vegetarians, so what do we do? What do? We burn that bush and blare it out loud. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Not until we at least have control of our resources once again. Not until we have realigned our mentally scarred brain and drained all the riches from the clutches of Queen Elizabeth and all other employees of... So, rest assured that change will inevitably come, and that truth will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And never said that we are never on time, because we have exquisite timing.
Boom.
Me rhyming these words makes me a poet, but the image says,
No, it doesn't!
See, it's the timing of my reciting and recognizing I need to pull it in that carries the swing. See, CCTV is not the all-seeing eye. Neither is that satellite in the sky, for my mind's eye cannot be discovered until I uncover it with action. So Barbie, are you really ready for this action, man? Because when men take action, we may just barbecue you. For you reflect another aspect of the American dream, who is the complete opposite to my Nubian queen, who is dark and rich in every ravine and stream, and she may seek the same as you, Barbie. Tall, dark and handsome. She may even pay the ransom on that bounty's head. So sisters, your screams are heard across valleys and shores, deep within society's concrete floors. More speak of rights of passage laws and open doors to your exhale. Ride on, gallant warriors, for there's much work to be done here. With your spear-dipped in truth, plunge deep into the hearts and minds of these racists, capitalists, white supremacists. For you are the change in history which may go unnoticed. With black power fists waving like this as you ride, saying, no justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Peace, but not without justice. Fighting with the beast. Everybody believe. No justice, no peace. When would the violence cease? More fire to release. Fighting toward the deceased.
What a joy it is to be alive.
Narita, England to reggae. The mother country. Where the money grow up on trees. And the streets that filled with gold. Oh God, I come to die in the world with the Queen. Yo, Rabata, everything blessed, everything alright.
I mean, I know you're a chattel country boy.
Don't try again.
Because I love London.
I know, man. How are you today?
What a joy.
Come back to where you come from, you filth.
England? England? The mother country? No, man. So, man, that's all.
Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. The young, they become the old, and mystery shall unfold, and the old will one day go. After generations of slaving, we're now working but willing to arrive on ships to board the shores of the famed United Kingdom. From kidnapped victims to volunteers to make them an even greater Britain. Different method, same intentions. But new formed groups like West Indians for the first time in records were meeting their infamous African cousins where they knew about each other via false information.
Where's the African and them don't say we are slaves?
West Indians are all criminals anyway.
But only a few knew better, were happy to see each other. Four former Marcus Garvey followers and Pan-Africanist soldiers were joining together to fight white colonizers. While West Indians were sent to do the grimy jobs upon the Windrush, most Africans were students around the time of pre-independence, couldn't wait to board the ships or plane to go back home to return late and participate in the experience of total independence. Until they received that dreaded correspondence.
Kofi, I can't believe it. There has been a coup. And Nkrumah will no longer be sending for you. So you'll have to survive and do what you have to. Remember us. Remember me. Remember, I love you.
What the hell's Kofi supposed to do? See, the one thing in life worse than not knowing what to do is to have your whole life's purpose taken away from you. I keep telling this generation, we should bathe in the wisdom of our elder men and women, for they've experienced a feeling I've yearned for since the beginning of my conscious education, and that's the complete feeling of total liberation from Caucasian direction. But Africans were soon joined by others fleeing the nations, hoping in blind faith for a better existence. So doctors, engineers, and civil servants were forced to do jobs below their qualifications. You see, regardless of our cultures, as soon as we arrived, they all despised us bloody. Couldn't even find us decent houses. Imagine this. Seeing a sign upon a notice, no Irish, no blacks, no dogs are accepted. And if you are, then you accept the overcrowding. Like ants in boxes or crabs in a barrel. Overcrowded areas from Brixton to Grove. Riots with white folks on Latimer Road. While MPs like Enoch Powell were prophesying that rivers of blood will flow. So blacks were afraid to go places where white supremacists live with their raging war against black residences. So-called working class brothers. What on earth do we do to you? All we wanted was to walk down the streets with you, live in existence with you. But our parents went to work among songs of, "Don't worry, you bloody boss, you went over there." But we believed in the triumph of the human nature, and soon they'll start seeing us as equal human partners. But we wasted too much time never doing for self, and our youths are going out needing our specialist help, and that can't be provided by a system of someone else. But meanwhile, Asians came over, kept their cultures and built their own empires, then joined pre-existing black organizations just in case integration was smarter. See, a wise man always has a backup plan. Keep your culture and develop it further. But Africans didn't work with each other, much less West Indians. See, Caribbeans didn't even work with each other, much less Africans. The only thing they had in common was they taught nothing to their children, teaching them it's better to be British in this climate of racial hatred. Strange fruit growing on trees without roots, filled with irregular content, watching their parents' development in new neglected ghetto environments. You see, right from the beginning, these children were doomed for society fed them seeds of rejection for their womb, and they tasted the flavour of subhuman behaviour, seeing their strong fathers reduced to subhumans. You blacks, you can't do nothing, right?
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. See, I really need this job, sir. I've got my...
Zombies and skeletons of their past glories. See, the children inherited seeds of self-destruction, the misplaced generation, the missing children of Eden, stuck in all areas of Great Britain, referring to their regions as their lost and found kingdoms though. There was a time some of them were eagerly seeking solutions, believing Boateng, Abbott or Grant they couldn't do what was needed. So they formed organisations operating outside the system, appealing to the young ones with a new code of conduct, informing them the government cared nothing for us. They weren't even allowed to become acquainted with the best black leaders. This was back in my youth, where bow ties and slick suits with plans for black youth would convince us and convert us that God owed us a promise, handing out leaflets in the worst neighbourhoods. Brothers, sisters, you ain't been forgotten. Why don't you come to the meeting on the weekend if you want more information? Strange. You see, nowadays I don't even see them. You see, it's hard to live righteous in a world that's not for us. So nowadays it's even scarier to look inside the eyes of the youths in our areas. The man that says,
Forget this, because no man can save us. And I'll be damned if I'm pumped like my elders. Because nowadays, prison or death don't even scare us. And I guarantee retaliation is another Stephen Lawrence.
from running from white folks, running after white folks, running with white folks, working class foes to crew fellows. 20 years ago, your boy would have bombed your house full of petrol, but forget it, because all that stuff is not historic. And this is the present, where so-called urbanized apparently face similar-ish. So blacks, whites, and Asians infected with black commercial so-called culture. So now they call it urban. So now they got everything but the burden. Because for most, this life is just too damn grimy. Though we cope, because it's the only home most have ever known, so we cope. Afraid to even dream of better. We're now walking streets in Union Jack sweaters. British blacks, oh black British! Without any more purpose or understanding of their cultures. Killer looks inside the iris. Walking road unopposed with a mentality that murder is strange. Because just half a generation past, his older bro got opposition when he waved his black flags and they cared nothing for us. Complete areas depleted into ghettos where elder folks will soon let you know.
It wasn't always like this, you know. You know, before the coloureds moved in. Used to be a picture-perfect environment. No offence about it.
Before, blacks arrived with no finance, looked for homes with no assistance, education with no inclusion, qualification without jobs, alienated areas overpopulated. See, low economics can get the worst from us. In a society that supposedly wants the best for us, while the BNP flourish, Farrakhan is still banished. Still we all alone, and ain't no man can save us. Psycho spirits or past worries will subconsciously do within us. So them soldiers, those same soldiers see on road, they know, subconsciously they know, they've been through the worst history can throw.
So if you think you're hard enough, then do your best to get us. If not, then leave us to live murderers.
A mentality unknown to the generation of old, from Shortman Eulogy to Nolan's Cold on Road.
Because can't no man save us, because ain't no one ever loved us. So how can you expect to save us?
Generations of past Africans causing turmoil inside us, so who knows what the story holds for tomorrow. Though for the generation of old, that's gone and passed. From ashes to ashes, and dust to dust. And new direction in generational black Britons, in Almighty God we trust.
King.
Purple.
Red. Red. Red.
Yeah. Red.
Red.
Yeah.
Red. 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 Red.
Red and yellow.
Pink. Same thing.
King and pink.
Say purple.
Purple and orange and blue. See, I lay down in a room of 5 different colours. Up to 3, 4, 5 different brothers. See, I was never mothered, so I never bothered to adorn myself in clothing that covered. You see, the less that I wore, the less that I suffered from loneliness. So I used to roll the herb, where I used to send skunk smoke signals of distress. Where man would sometimes try and touch my breasts. I remember his red, gold and green string vest. Funny, back then, they never used words like hoe or skept
Slosher.
or
Dr. Yarn.
would suffice. I know there were more, but I forget. What? Do I regret going to that yard at that time? Should I have gone at 9:15? Would there have been something different on their minds? Would they have committed a different crime and would I have been just fine? Or did our problems begin from way further back down the line? So should I take it back? All the way back to the Middle Passage and describe how my ancestors were debased, sold and damaged? Or do I talk about when I got here to England? This God-forsaken country, wandering around the streets paved with ish and being called
Wogs
and
monkey.
Or do I talk about motherless fathers and fatherless mothers and lack of support from extended family and others? Do I blame myself? Or do I blame those brothers? Or do I blame the fact that there was no food in my cupboard? Or do I even care? With my heart filled with fear, as I wished and I prayed that I'd get out of there, but you see, the black God couldn't hear, and the white God didn't care, while a gruff voice said,
Don't be greedy. You'll have to share.
Then he had the nerve to stroke my hair, as if he cared and whispered in my ear,
Don't be scared.
why was I in hell? And who exactly was I going to tell about these colours and these sounds and these smells? Like the devil. Yellow. I always like yellow, you know. Yellow is airy. You know, they say my sister's yellow. Well, yellowish brown skin. Brown skin, you know. Brown skin, you know I hate your brown skin. And your vest, and your cap, and your shirt. Please stop, it really hurts. What? Like it hurts when your clothes no longer fit? Or when they say you wanted it? Or when they beat you for the head of it? Or when you try to slit your wrist? Or when they say, no, you've made a mistake, you've got the wrong one? Or when they say that you were having fun and that you let them fall true one by one? Or when they look at your beautiful print, say,
My son.
Yo, I might pick that up.
Hey, my son.
revelation, yeah? I looked in the mirror this morning and I discovered that I was black. came from.
You're the last flight, lad.
What is urban? No, but like, who is urban? Any of you urban? I'm not urban. And how did urban come to be urban? Why is it everything I make create you call urban? What is urban? Who is urban? Are you urban? I'm not urban. How did urban come to be urban? Everything I make create you call urban now. Hold on. Look hard, what's wrong? Use my beat, sing next man's song. We sold out now, soul is gone. We've got protection now, time to respond. We created vibe and feel from culture, life experience real. Next man came with big record deals and flashed the cash for poor use appeal. So now, business took control by those who don't know black soul. King was playing in the poor zone. I watched the way this story unfolds. We make art, they sold image. Then push certain types of our lyrics. You start to create new gimmicks with emphasis on making digits. The focus became getting through to other cultures instead of minding our own. Long for that black thing, give it up a bone. We left the yard, never secured the home now. I see. Them trying to separate me from what came out of my identity. Trying to eclipse the black energy. Take my things and soul back to me, my music. Next man use it and half of the time abuse it. So they lose it, then infuse it. So blackness, anyone can choose it. Or refuse it. Though black, they weren't born. Own it like it's theirs from morn. Blackness then makes way to spawn. Elvis Presley's different forms that become norm. Push to the top. What they made, my culture's pop. We think safe, so we embrace. While from our things, our face is erased. Intrusion, confusion, with the illusion of inclusion. Everybody wanna be black when blackness gains, but none of them can't feel black pain. Yes. Sick of images of me on TOTP, MTV. Use my style to attract me, then impose what you think I should be creating. Generations confused on fake ideals. My culture is used now. Black girls snow white through, and white girls think they're Afro blue. Those are babies. Gangsters, pimps, hoes, bling. These people promote anything but consciousness can go to hell, because they say consciousness don't sell. I spit this, rip this consciously so everybody will know and see, and I know just who I be, so keep your urban fallacy. That urban, what is urban? Are you urban? No! That urban, what is urban? Are you urban? No! I'm not urban. How did urban come to be urban? No, scratch that. Different version. It's not urban, long that urban, run that, done that, gun that urban. I fire blaze and burn that urban. I'm black, I'm not urban.
Aggressive, man. We're trying to bring the youths in, you know? Please bless me one more time. ShakaRa! And every time you're hot, you get hot. Trust me, I told you, I know these artists here, so next phase, now to come. Relax. Or some of you will keep them on, keep them on. What we want to do now is keep energy going here. You have to give them your energies. You have to give them, and they will give it back to you, I guarantee you. Before I go any further and sing, will it look alright? Will we look alright? Good. Good. them look alright. Muggle man, come. Them look alright though, yeah? Right, there's a sister by the name of Carla. She put a design together, a thing, you know. The name of her company is called
Fresh Legs!
Good. So if you want more information where you can get your clothes, it's www.
Fresh Legs!
There's always one. You can go and check her out. Right, we're moving on to our next.
Fresh Legs!
Our next artist coming to the stage. Are you ready for this? Yeah. No, you see what I'm saying? Don't make me lose my voice in there tonight. Are you ready for our next art?
Yeah!
Alright, that's what I'm saying. We want to keep this energy going. I told you, if you give it to them, they will give it back. It's all about reflection. It's all about reflection and giving and receiving and them things there. Ones will come up soon, you know? Yeah? Alright, give and receive, collective responsibility. Anyway, I'll chat about it later. We want you give your energy and vibranceness. See, poets will make up them words there like vibrance. We want you give them your energy and make this next artist feel welcome. Because I guarantee you that they are going to touch you. Unlike some of us have touched you before, they're going to bring something unique. This artist has an album, as like ShakaRa, has a CD. You can purchase it outside and it's cheap. Not cheap in quality, but in price. Yeah, you can get this next artist CD outside. So if you like what you see, don't be afraid to approach her and purchase a CD. You see them right there? C and CD. This artist now, I have to make sure everything's set up. This artist here, yeah? Make sure everything's calm. This next artist is just beautifully blessed. Are you ready? Yeah! This artist, phenomenal director, theatrical presenter. She is, and I'm giving it away, she goes by the name of Sister OneNess!
With our uniqueness being labelled a curse, but no more
battle through the worst self-hatred. But always know that in no way are you the lowest of the low, but the highest of the high. Whether you be looking through your first, second, or third eye, you see others may try with pure lies in my head. But we can tell them, go to hell. And they inject their lips, hips, and body to make them swear. To try and test ionization. Why? They just be looking paper and paper. No, I am not a hater. I am a lover of myself, my sister, and my mother. Ma Africa, I, your daughter, on a mission to unite her siblings. Those who are dribbling and those who are limping, sending healing so we can stop revealing and stop selling mama's blessings. Big mama, we, your girl children, feel your pain. The same way that you've been treated, we've been treated the same. As we provide the world with sustenance, yet always eat late. Some of us being beaten and raped, being treated worse than dogs and apes, always knowing that this is not our fate. But you see, we become masters of illusion. Get caught up in various aspects of our confusion. Be black, but not black-skinned. Be slim, but not too thin. Stick your butt out and hold your stomach in. Come on, black woman, be amazing, like Grace with the Kelly. If you want to get my like Nelly, don't watch too much telly or you might get a pot belly. And then you'll have to go to the gym for a bout. Maybe you can't next work out. 1, 2, in, out. When you say stressed out, I can't hear you, you're gonna have to shout. And you black woman, please calm down. You can't afford to have a breakdown. Now, can you hear that sound? That's the sound of children that need you. They have needs that need seeing to. So come on, queens, rise and do what you have to do. Because you know you did it first, right? Black women are antiquity. The only difference is that back then when you sat on your throne, you never sat there alone. Oh, I'm sorry, do I digress? I forgot you've got to get the children dressed. See, they all thrown out of his lesson. Kayla's learned a new word, sex, and you've got to study for your driving test. So what do? You do your best. Meanwhile, there's a sister next door, facing interrogation of why she ain't got no picnic yet. That she could be walking around with dried up eggs and that there's more to life than career and friends. So what does she do? She bites her tongue so she doesn't offend. Now if we listen real good and put a glass up to the wall, we can hear faint sounds coming from number 84. Scatter. Are the first words that she hears when she steps through the door. And she climbs over the rubbish that's been left on the floor. You see, she's been watching MTV Base since the age of 4. No one ever told her to close her legs before. But true, she's been gone since yesterday, or was it the day before? You see, she just needed some support. She couldn't take anymore. But to avoid a fist, she goes to the kitchen to finish those chores. And there's more. Yes, there's more. I've burnt tonight across the seas and the shores to my sisters in Kenya, who are being raped by the British soldiers, while the governments have known for 30 years and over yet do absolutely none. I mean, this be way beyond tears. I love ya, and will do what I can to help ya. You see, you've been fighting on strong, and this has been going on for too damn long. But I didn't understand the context while I was rocking out to the soul song. But I found endarkenment in Erica Badu's On and On. And there are more issues that at this point I shall not vent. For my time here is better spent letting you know that I love you. From the first to the last, from the present to the past, thank
pace going. We're gonna keep the pace going. Next artist coming to the stage. And I bet you can't guess who he is. Yeah, I know you can't. Just
He's about to grace the stage. You've seen him before in other capacities. This brother has 3 albums out. He's a producer, he's an inspirer, he's a mentor, and he's gonna come and blow up the stage. He goes by the name of, we call him the Wizard of Words, and in a moment you will see why. So can you please show some appreciation to the man they call
Ready?
Yeah, welcome peeps. We're at the Oval House tonight. Second night, 16th and the 17th of December. It's about half an hour before the show. We're just trying to really get ready, come out to get some air and breathe. We've got like Short Man, we've got like TuggS.T.A.R, we've got Sister OneNess, myself and ShakaRa in this. And yeah, we hope you enjoyed the show. And we out here, outside in the Oval, just chilling and get ready to go. It's D behind the camera, you know how it goes. God bless up, man. So yeah, enjoy the show and stay tuned, man. Stay tuned. In the Oval.
Are you going to be filming from the show on or from the beginning?
From the beginning.
Shakespeare. Did you call me? Did you ask him to come again? B, you know they make I'll be right now. You got something?
Waiting on you, what?
So I'm floating and when I feel like turn this motherfucker up on me if it feels right. Stop your crying, baby. Stop crying. When the school is really enough time for Sunday.
You don't mind if I took this off?
Oh, cheers.
Sorry, man. I didn't even believe the fuck.
Oh, fuck.
This is the lead, yeah? This is the lead. Well, that's what happens when you invite biscuit to the Oval House. You messed up the rules, goddammit.
Oh, there you go, man. Funny. Look at that, love with you. Bob, do that back there.
Blessed to the Creator that wants to move and bless us to be able to be us, your living organisms right here. Wish for you to give us the spirit of guidance which you have blessed us all with to be able to deliver the right here, the right life. We thank you for our gifts and talents and skills. We hope that you allow us to fulfill your will and you as a blessing to us. Please thank you again once more for being natural and safe to us and making us a complete escape. We have joy for the same ability that she has with her, and that her spirit be here with her to guide her and support her as we will in your vessels. Please allow us to go through the night, touch the heart and mind, and hopefully create some action within those that are here today and even within ourselves. We hope that you will allow people to travel home safe, back to their home and family, and within this process. Finally, we acknowledge us and allow each and every one now just to make their personal connection with you. And now,
I'm excited!
I'm outside now then.
Right, do you know what? I need some juice.
I'm loading water today, my man. Right.
I've got water right there. Who did you get?
Forget not the Vaseline, where if I perform with the it's not the one.
Everyone cool though?
Who's got water?
This is like one to more.
Backstage, yeah?
Yeah, hotel. What about that?
Love, peace, and harmony. I would like to get to know you better. You seem the type that would take on the stormy weather. You're my type of love to open you up and read about you, about you. But why, when I know you, I want the best for you? Why, when I'm gonna keep it real and tell you the truth? Don't be afraid of my strength, personality. Don't be afraid of my strength, personality. But there's one thing getting in the way of what I'm feeling. Yeah, you know, getting in the way of what I'm feeling. Something getting in the way, sing it, of what I'm feeling. You know this song, come on. Getting in the way, getting in the way to what we're feeling. And one more time, yeah. What I'm feeling, why you getting in the way? So that getting in the way, don't let it get in the way. Why? Why can't we let it get in the way? Because would you like to have a good life? See, I would like to have a good life. Would you like to have a good life? See, I would like to have a good life. With my elbow on my window pane, I'm just thinking and thinking how complacent I am with my knowledgeable head. I let so much go to waste with all the people I have around me. Okay. And all the energies inside me. I don't really need to sit around and think about all the misery, the memory. So, would you like to have a good life? 'Cause I would like to have a good life. Would you like to have a good life? 'Cause I would like to have a good life. Such a song I got vibing. So, tonight, free your mind, don't ask why, now's the time. Call your friends, experience acoustic rhythm. Free your mind, don't ask why, now's the time. Call your friends, experience acoustic rhythm. I said, acoustic rhythm. You feel me? Acoustic rhythm. So tonight you will enjoy best just can't see.
help us bleed your wallets. Feed your money and funds directly into our pockets. You want to give your children something to believe in? Well, to achieve this, you'll need to deceive them, because heathens won't allow you to be honest. You need to give them some fantasy of Christopher Kringle and throw in some gift wrap reality of Christopher Wallace. Whilst they're sleeping, stuff their stockings. Give your children everything other than bonds, stocks, and profits. I hear little boys and girls say, well, this year, courtesy of Dad, maybe I'll be able to open up an asset. But Dad might be more concerned with Christmas, not rather that you could maybe take away from this period anything positive. As long as he gets to eat, sleep, drink, smoke and satisfy his fat flaming sausage, he's just going to continue to support those shops. Go and get you a spit-polished novelty in a tree that if left in the forest would have been a lot more better off. Don't worry about the festivities, mothers, fathers. African traditions a long time been abolished. We only meet and greet for the mass consumption of foreign meats and to reach a certain height by means of spirits and solids, following Victorians and Germans. King Albert's traditional means of learning, supporting this superstitious evergreen faith. Real beauty in the tree replaced, disgraced with tinsel and then we burn them within a few days. Follow fashion monkeys dressed in Tim's, Ben Sherman and whatever the new craze. Decorating a tree following the Queen. Planting her pomposity by window bays without curtains on purpose to publicize her latest display. Lavish lifestyle for all to see. Smearing her pamphlets in the faces of ghettos and suburbs next door living in poverty. Let's take a minute out just to see how twisted these people be. November the 5th, cursed. December the 25th, church. Still we support these pagan pageantries. Religious leaders kiss the noses of cruise missiles and is seen as a pleasantry. Who comes first if our saviours come secondaries? Could it be Santa's little helpers with presence of mass downfall / suicide bombers with offers by the sackful in red costumes? And I remember those Catholic leaders, religions, hiding behind their religion while supporting battles. Billions borrowed from the bank owners who visits the chapels, where I remember the smell and the odour of these old white people I could never relate. Hearing them glorifying their Western inventions and ways within their Victorian hymns, singing songs of his praise and songs of his wretchedness like Amazing Grace. This has to be our final days of depigmentation. Last days of his salvation. I know we're sick of waiting, sick of witnessing Mr. Kipling's. Because he may be making exceedingly good pies, but come on. Everybody intrinsically knows that both Mary and Joseph own big noses, but still he's got them posing as the same old Caucasian in his mince pie publications, upholding fabrications for ages, partaking in the playing of the people's minds. I'm telling people that deprogramming and subsequent re-education is incumbent in order for us to redress these white supremacist crimes. I'm growing bored, old, ill, sick, anti, but still pricks outright deny their ultimate birthright, making it harder for me to focus on mine. Supporting Soviet desires, but I will not capitulate. I will not be conquered and go and sponsor these shops looking forward to their enormous paycheck and payday. Giving a Christmas bonus to slaves, serfs who go get boned and get stoned at bar humbug. We say we got feelings for our fam, but ain't got enough for a universal one love. See seeking a perfect deal. We just got mad love for sales, but I can't seem to find and buy one and get one to free the world. And how many still homeless and how many without food. And just before dinner time, I hear those pop idols call. Do they know it's Christmas time? Well, hopefully they don't. That's if they're left to celebrate Kwanzaa. If they're left to celebrate Ramadan amongst their own, with their families in their homes. So, Merry Christmas. Bun Christmas.
It is said that every oppressed people will receive a messenger to guide us into the light. Let us be unwatchful with this one.
Wake up, you sleeping giant, and accomplish and achieve what you will. We bring forth the bring of a new Messiah, sent from higher realms. And so it shall be written.
They try to fool the black population by telling them that Jaja dead. And they try to fool the black population by telling them that Jaja dead. Jah no dead. Jah no dead. Jah no dead, no. Jah no dead, 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 no. No home, Jah no dead. I knows Jah. Jah no dead. Jah no dead. Jah no dead. Rebel soul was born with a blessing to receive lessons from prophets of old. Born dedicated, brave and bold, with a mind shaped by the mold from which greatness was to unfold. Heaven only knows if his coming was foretold. Like the 1,000th moon, still I learnt that familiar tune they sung. Natural like oxygen to lungs, or word off the drum to African minds. Melanated beings in the sunshine, or rhythm to African female behinds. See the future and the present to the past by, and so in order for me to be complete like 9, I had to rewind to our cable land nations. The first kings, queens, empires and civilizations. The same people who were subjugated to subhuman on plantations, but who never accepted that condition of enslavement and fought for 2,000 seasons in the name of freedom, passing that spirit to future generations' hearts and minds, giving birth to Black Star Lines and Black Power times. That history is mine. And now I'm born in a time where self-hatred is the order of the day. Willie Lynch, divide and conquerors, most definitely had his way. And that 9 no longer represents completion, but could signify the end of the time we spend on this earthly plane. Whips on backs now, crack in veins. Estate blocks, plantations, same. But this road could never be the way for me. The prophets of old told a very different story. For I was shaped by the mold from which greatness was to unfold. And I battled with the conflict of being in this world, but not of this world. Following the rebels who existed in this world. For this world is contrary and contradictory to my nature. Which leads me to that very important decision, which became apparent after I learned that most important lesson. And that blessing became a mission that would give birth and be expressed through these writtens that speak of freedom, liberation, knowledge of self-determination, love and unity, divinely inspired and projected through a voice that was designed specifically to impact eardrums, mentals, cellular optics, souls and spirits. Rhythmic flow, I don't spit it, this is more fire lyrics, trotting through the earth like a lion unleashing the belly of the beast, chanting.
No justice, no peace.
This road is very steep, but I trod, yes I rode, footsteps always guided by those prophets of old, so call me the whirlwind and the storm of Marcus Messiah Garvey, the means necessary of Malcolm X, not the dream but the vision of Martin Luther King, because I want to let freedom reign from the hilltops to the valleys, from the street corners to the alleys, for freedom is a state of nature that complements and enhances a state of being that complements and enhances your nature, and therefore it's time for me to return to the way, reclaim our throne and stop chasing gods that are not our own. And that's why every time I bless this stage, I say Tendai Mwari. Be thankful unto the Most High Jah, Rastafari, for blessing me with this gift called the Word. For this word is not a game. Forever you recall when I came, and warrior of the light is my name, I'm ShakaRa. And warrior of the light is my name, I'm ShakaRa. And warrior of the light is my name, let freedom reign, because warrior of the light is my name. Peace.
When we the violence cease, more fire to release, fighting for the disease, no justice, no peace. See, like, who can blare up to make this opposite going on? Rearrange those facts to make them fit when they don't. That's right, I can make up any shit. Because in the Y2K, anything goes. Like dirty and crinkled clothes. Bros sleeping with bros, and even those whack-ass mogo shows. See planes falling from the skies, only disguise the lies and flies flying around us. The victims become the accused, and the accused become criminalized, baptized in Satan's political or propaganda and politics, or high tricks. See now wit creeps into surface, and we laugh and merry laugh, but yo! The joke is on us. How much longer are we going to sit and discuss? How much longer are we going to invest and trust in this raping racist regime? See, I have a dream, but that dream needs to manifest into reality. Because that revolution won't be on no MTV or no TV channel that he runs. No! He'd rather flood us with guns, drugs, and death. And for my disillusioned blacks, it will come from the militant right and the so-called left. So I strategize and mobilize, network and make ties with those allies on the rise, speaking truth from deep within in Zinga, Shaka, Hannibal, truth cannibal on the run, spitting laser-like lyrics like kicked from this gun, and here it's fun. Because I see the truth penetrate many souls as they flee and run, jumping over misplaced love and trust, just to seek refuge in the idea of the American dream, all that bullshit like, God save our gracious queen. See, I'm a redeemed figurehead with cultural lessons facilitated by Om and Ra, and realized spoken word with words like Matt Black, OneNess, TuggS.T.A.R, and ShakaRa. For our future will be determined by our present until we address the past. So as the cycle turns, we must learn that the early bird catches the worm.
Who eats worms, man?
We don't eat worms.
Yes, because we don't eat worms. Because a bird in the hand is worth more than two in the bush. But see, we continue to evolve, and we're now vegans and vegetarians, so what do we do? What do? We burn that bush and blare it out loud. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Not until we at least have control of our resources once again. Not until we have realigned our mentally scarred brain and drained all the riches from the clutches of Queen Elizabeth and all other employees of So rest assured that change will inevitably come, and thy truth will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And never let it be said that we are never on time, because we have exquisite timing. Me rhyming these words makes me a poet, but the image says, no, it doesn't. It's the timing of my reciting and recognizing that I need to pull it in that carries the swing. See, CCTV is not the all-seeing eye, neither is that satellite in the sky, for my mind's eye cannot be discovered until I uncover it with action. So, Barbie, are you really ready for this action now? Because when men take action, we may just barbecue you. For you reflect another aspect of the American dream. It was the complete opposite to my Nubian queen, who is dark and rich in every ravine and stream, and she may seek the same as you, Barbie. Tall, dark and handsome. She may even pay the ransom on that bounty's head. So sisters, your screams are heard across valleys and shores, deep within society's concrete floors. Moors speak of rights of passage laws and open doors to your exhale. Ride on, gallant warriors, for there's much work to be done here. With your spear-dipped in truth, plunge deep into the hearts and minds of these racists, capitalists, white supremacists. For you are the change in history which may go unnoticed. With black power fists waving like this as you ride, saying, no justice, no peace, no justice, no peace, no justice, no peace, peace, but not without justice. Fighting for the disease. No justice.
Yeah, man. Oh, what a joy it is to be alive.
Me reach England to reggae. The mother country.
Oh, what a joy it is.
Where the streets them paved with gold. And money come from broken trees. Oh Lord. I come to wine and dine with the queen. Yo! What was that? Everything blessed, everything alright?
You don't know you, man. You're a chapter boy. Go on the country, boy.
Something alright. Hello, ma'am. How are you today?
Come back to where you come from, you filth.
England? The mother country? No, man. So, man, just enough.
Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. The young, they become the old, and mystery shall unfold, and the old will one day go, and this generation change. After generations of slaving, we're now ready but willing to arrive on ships to board the shores of the famed United Kingdom. From kidnapped victims to volunteers to make them an even greater burden. Different method, same intention. But new formed groups like West Indians for the first time in records and meeting their infamous African cousins where they knew by each other via false information.
You said African there? Them don't say we are slaves.
Charlie, West Indians are all criminals anyway.
Only a few knew better, were happy to see each other. Former Marcus Garvey followers and Pan-Africanist soldiers who were joining together to fight white colonizers. While West Indians were sent to do the grimy jobs upon the Windrush, most Africans were students around the time of pre-independence, couldn't wait to board the ships or plane to go back home through a turn lake and participate in the experience of total independence. Until they received that dreaded correspondence.
Kofi, I can't believe it. There has been a coup, and Nkrumah will no longer be standing for you. So you'll have to survive and do what you have to. Remember us. Remember me. Remember, I love you.
What the hell's Kofi supposed to do? See, the one thing in life worse not knowing what to do is to have your whole life purpose taken away from you. I keep telling this generation, we should bathe in the wisdom of our elder men and women, for they've experienced a feeling I've yearned for since the beginning of my conscious education, and that's the complete freedom of total liberation against anyone's direction. But Africans were soon joined by others fleeing their nations, hoping in blind faith for a better existence. So doctors, engineers, and civil servants were forced to do jobs below their qualifications. You see, regardless of our cultures, as soon as we arrived, they all despised us, bloody couldn't even find us decent houses. Imagine this, seeing a sign upon a notice, no Irish, no blacks, no dogs were accepted. And if you are, then you accept the overcrowding, like ants in boxes, or crabs in a barrel. Overcrowded areas from Brixton to Grove, right to white folks to Latimer Road, while MPs like Enoch Powell was prophesying that rivers of blood will flow. So blacks were afraid to go places where white supremacists lived, for their raging war against black residences. So-called working class brothers. What on earth do we do to you? All we wanted was to live an existence with you, walk down the streets with you, but our parents went to work among songs of,
Go on, you bloody wogs! You're not welcome here!
but we believed in the triumph of human nature. And soon they'll see us all as equal human partners. So we wasted too much time never doing for self, and our youths are growing up needing our specialist help, and that can be provided by the system of someone else. But meanwhile, Asians came over, kept their cultures and built their own empires. They joined pre-existing black organizations just in case integration was smarter. See, a wise man always has a backup plan. Keep your culture and develop it further. But Africans didn't work with each other, much less West Indians. See, Caribbeans didn't work with each other, much less Africans. The only thing they had in common was they taught nothing to their children, teaching them is let to be British and climb our racial hatred. Strange fruit growing on trees without roots, filled with irregular content, watching their parents' development in new neglected ghetto environments. You see, right from the beginning, these children were doomed, for society fed them seeds of rejection for their womb, and they tasted the flavour of subhuman behaviour, seeing their strong fathers reduced to subhumans.
You blacks, you can't do nothing, right?
I'll go fast. I really need this job.
Zombies and skeletons of their former past glories. See, the children inherited seeds of self-destruction, the misplaced generation, the missing children of Eden, stuck in all areas of Great Britain, referring to their regions as they lost and found kingdoms though. There was a time some of them were eagerly seeking solutions, believing Boateng, Abbott or Grant, they couldn't do what was needed. So they formed organizations operating outside the system, appealing to the young ones with a new code of conduct, informing them the government cared nothing for us. They wouldn't even allow us to become acquainted with the best black leaders. This was back in my youth, where bow ties and slick suits with plans for black youth would convince us to convert us that God owed us a promise, handing out leaflets in the worst neighborhoods. Brothers, sisters, you ain't been forgotten. Why don't you come to the meeting on the weekend and want more information? Strange. You see, nowadays, I don't even see them. You see, it's hard to live righteous in a world that's not for us. So nowadays, it's even scarier to look inside the eyes of the youths in that area. The man says,
Forget this, because no man can save us. And I'll be damned if I'm parked like my elders, because nowadays, prison or death don't even scare us. And I guarantee retaliation is the last Stephen Lawrence.
from running from white folks, running after white folks, running with white folks, working class folks to crew fellows. 20 years ago, your boy would have bombed your house full of petrol, but forget it. Because all that stuff is now historic. And this is the present, where so-called urbanites apparently face similar-ish. So blacks, whites, and Asians infected with black commercial, so-called culture. So now they call it urban. So now you got everything but the burden. Because for most, this life is just too damn grimy, though we cope. It's the only home most have ever known, so we cope. Afraid to even dream of better. We're now walking streets in Union Jack sweaters, British blacks or black British, without an aim or a purpose, or understanding of their cultures. Killer looks inside the iris, walking road unopposed with a mentality that's murderous, strange. With just only half a generation past, his older bro got a position when he waved his black flag, so they cared nothing for us. Complete areas depleted in their ghettos where elder white folks would soon let you know.
It wasn't always like this, you know. You know, before the coloureds moved in. used to be a picture-perfect environment. No offense, love.
Before, blacks arrived with no finance, looked for homes with no assistance, education with no inclusion, qualification without jobs, alienated and areas overpopulated. See, low economics can really get their worst from us. In a society that supposedly wants the best for us, while the BNP flourish, Farrakhan is still banished. So we all alone, and ain't no man can save us. Psycho spirits of past worries subconsciously dwell within us. So them soldiers, them same old soldiers you see on road, they know, subconsciously they know they've been through the worst history can throw.
So, if you think you're hard enough, then do your best to get us. If not, then leave us to live murderers.
A mentality unknown to the generation of old, from short man's eulogy to Nolan's cold.
Because can't no one save us, because ain't no one ever loved us. So how can you expect to save us?
Generations of past Africans causing turmoil inside us. So who knows what a story holds for tomorrow? Though for the generation of old, that's gone and passed. From ashes to ashes, and dust to dust. And for the new direction and generation of black Britons, in Almighty God we trust.
I lay down in a room of 5 different colours. Up to 3, 4, 5 different brothers. See, I was never mothered, so I never bothered to adorn myself in clothing that covered. You see, the less that I wore, the less that I suffered from loneliness. So I used to roll the herb, where I used to send skunk smoke signals of distress. Where man then would sometimes try and touch my breast. I remember his red, gold, and green string vest. Funny. Back then, they never used words like hoe or sket.
Slosher.
Or
dirty girl.
would suffice. I know there were more, but I forget. What? Do I regret going to that yard at that time? Should I have gone at 8:45? Would there have been something different on their minds? And would they have committed a different crime? And would I have been just fine? Or did our problems begin from way further back down the line? So should I take it back? All the way back to the Middle Passage and describe how my ancestors were debased, sold and packaged? Or do I start from when I came to England, this God-forsaken country, wandering around the streets paved with ish and being called
Wogs
and
monkey?
Or do I talk about motherless fathers and fatherless mothers and lack of support from extended family and others? Do I blame myself? Or do I blame those brothers? Or do I blame the fact that there was no food in my damn cupboard? Or do I even care? With my heart filled with fear, as I wished and I prayed that I'd get out of there. But you see, the black God couldn't hear, and the white God didn't care. While a gruff voice said,
Don't breathe. Shit.
then he had the nerve to stroke my hair as if he cared and whisper in my ear,
Don't be scared.
why was I in hell? And who exactly was I supposed to tell about these colors and these sounds and these smells? Like the devil. Yellow. I always like yellow, you know. Yellow is irie. They say my sister's yellow. Well, yellowish brown skin. Brown skin, you know. Brown skin, you know I hate your brown skin. And your vest, and your cap, and your shirt. Please stop. It really hurts. What? Like it hurts when your clothes no longer fit. Or when they say you wanted it. Or when they beat you for the head of it, or when you try to split your wrists. Or when they say, oh no, you've made a mistake. You've got the wrong one. Or when they say that you were having fun and that you let them pour through one by one. Or when they look at your beautiful hips and say,
It's not my son.
Yeah, and I'm not picking that enough.
It's not my son.
That ain't my son. That ain't my son. That ain't my son. That ain't.
all of the just below elders. I want you to say, bless. Bless. Don't lie, you know you're the elders problem. Everyone that is under 25, me say, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Everyone that is under 20, no, under 19, say, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. And lie. Make sure that we've got everyone in the house today. We're trying to make sure that we have a good representation. Because this is the spoken word. That's right. And we have come to deliver you something tonight. This is our open mic event. I hope you came and I hope that you told someone new about this. But it's about to get hot. So you have to trust me. I know these artists. So I want you to back off the chord. Take it out. Take off the chord. Relax. It's going to get hot. Yeah, in fact, take off your shoes then, relax. No, some of you don't take off your shoes. We are going to get tonight started like this, alright? Our first artist for the night. Our first artist for the night is going to bring you something special. Now, warning, if you give them the love, they will give it back. Yeah, reflect, try, you're going to rebound. Yeah, you have to give it to them. You know? We're just starting up. We want to give them the love, because they will give it back to you. Alright? Yeah. Alright? Yeah. We're working tonight, you know. You have to take part too. Right. Our first artist, who has been with the group for the same time that everyone else has been with it. But as I said, it's the open mic event, so artist, we flew him specially. We went on a little tour and we see him in Jupiter. So we flying in special for you. This artist brings so much dimensions. The word, the drum, he can sing, he look good too. Some here. Some here. Please show your appreciation. I want you outstanding for this brother coming to bring you this raw word. He is the long-awaited, much anticipated, much talked about brother by the name of ShakaRa.
Revelation time, you know? I woke up this morning, right?
They have the power to change this earth's conditions, and teachers are tormented, wondering, how do I access these children? Forced to drift and reminisce in amazement about the success of the Black Panther movement, turning those ex-street hustlers to extraordinary human beings, but these ex-Malcolm X-men are now languishing in London. Listening to Walkmans was supposed to be learning lessons inside classrooms. This is a far cry from the success rate of the Nation of Islam conversions with mystical assignments etched inside the genetics. We wasted too much time doing nonsense. As parents pray to stop the violence and activists bar for justice and youth workers want these kids to be more receptive so good teachers can just teach these children more than just doing rapping and telling jokes. Maybe replace some of your dancing with some planning. Some of your nightclubbing with some strategizing. Some of your religious zealousness with some unified efforts. But our burning question is the quest for our young Saviour's salvation. But we've lived so long without our Saviours. Even the strongest faithful now doubt it. Because our gospel songs, they're just like opium. They give us temporary bliss. Because these modern Goliaths, they swing swords and our stones always miss. In this global dictatorship, where European cousins dominate, pay reparations, then request it back with interest. So an African on the motherland just doesn't understand how a white man meeting in a building built by one of his stolen ancestors all of a sudden has control of how much he pays for his water in a well he's freely drunk from since the beginning of existence, since when Adam and Eve were reciting poetry in Eden. but believing that saviors have been born amongst us to fight for their justice. But uncle, I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, because you won't recognize neither your descendants nor your family members, because our conditions are consequence of bad dreams and failed schemes, invasions, assimilation, integration and segregation, pain and enslavement is not an exaggeration to state this is Armageddon, and we're defeated by the stench of our own dissatisfaction. By being useless, but more time I just listen to the bleeding stories some of our young people got to live with. Kings and queens, no, fallen gods and goddesses. I look in their eyes, see if we can picture what I'm picturing. Street girls who can no longer picture themselves in colleges. Just look to the man they think is where the money is. Young boys grow up watching this development, don't want to be single, celibate, or even monogamous. I question, where's the ambition in this environment? In high school, he said a professional, or even president, astronaut, leader, teacher on a continent. Now they look back in anger, with a belly full of pain and laughter. Bigger jokers than their youth workers. And you said it.
Made albums of his own, which you can find out there. We describe him as the wizard of words. And when I bring him on, you will see why. So, I want you to show some big, big, big love for the man, the dead, born, and born.
His love is unerring and constant and keeps me alive.